I'm super excited because I ordered 2 customized stamps for my seed packet. So in a previous video, I showed you how I got these stamps so I could date them. I could put down that it's checked and the date, because you're technically supposed to have the date of the germination test and the percent on the packets. But it would also be helpful to have other information. So I ordered 2 different customized stamps. They're both here. So let's go ahead and rip into them, see what they look like, and then try them out. So I'm going to start with this one here. Right, so this right here is giving me deja vu of when I did the last video about my seed stamping stuff with this one. I bought this off Amazon. Obviously, it says Amazon on it. I had to like load the ink myself, and I said I hope that the ones I have custom made will come with it already in. These could just be the extras I ordered, because I asked them to send extra. I paid for extra ink pads, so I'm hoping these are the extras, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and open up. Ooh, oh my gosh, there we go. I actually typed in what I wanted to be included. So it says sun, full, partial, or shade, cold hardy, yes, some, or no, annual, biennial, or perennial, plant depth / spacing in centimeters. I typed in that information because I thought that would be information that would be good to have on a seed packet. And then after it dries, you would just, or I would just circle full, partial, or shade. I would circle yes, some, or no. I'd circle whether it's annual, biennial, perennial. And then I would hand write in the depth / the spacing. Okay, let's go ahead and see how this looks. Okay, it looks just like how I asked them to make it look. And then when I push this down, I'm thinking maybe it's already pre-inked, which would be very handy, because I don't want to have to deal with this stuff, the ink pads, until I have to. So I'm going to put these back in the box, and let's see. Let me try it on an actual seed packet. Okay, so here's a seed packet, and it's a little bit wide, so I'm probably going to have to do it sideways. Okay. All right. And I think I'd put it like this. Let's angle it just right. Is it flush? I think so. Oh, I have to push better than that. Okay. This is going to be a scrap one. Push hard. Wiggle. Okay. I should have done a couple test runs on, I'll just flip it over. This one's going to be scrap. Okay. Sometimes it takes a while for it to get inked. Okay. Let me try it with 2 hands. I'll get right back to you. I put a book underneath just to make sure it's a really hard surface, because the tray I have is a little bit uneven. Just make sure that that's not causing an issue. That's better. There we go. Okay, so when you first are stamping, don't stamp on your actual seed packet. If you're using one of these, this is not meant for seed packets. This is just a customized stamp. I personalized it with seed packet information though. So that looks nice now. So you're going to want to make sure that I think it's pretty obvious. You want to make sure that you have a really flat surface that's hard, that you can push solid against. But you also want to test it out a few times so that it like really gets inked up evenly. Now let me go ahead and try it on a seed packet. Alright, here's a seed packet that's ready. I'm going to flip it sideways. I think I'll put the information up here on the top half. Okay, and I'm going to line it up with the bottom up there. Okay. Okay, fingers crossed. I'm going to do 2 hands. I'm going to leave the screen. Okay, the trick is I need I'm not sure everybody else, but I need to put both hands on the stamper so that I am equally putting pressure on both sides of the stamp. It came out perfect when I went away from the camera. So, yes, it needs equal distribution of pressure, obviously. Okay, so that looks great. Let me see the other stamp, and we'll check out what other information we'll include on our seed packets. But won't that be nice? So all I'll have to do is with a pen or pencil mark the shading I want, whether it's cold hardy or not, whether it's annual or perennial, and then write down here, and I would close it first before I put that information in. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, I have to go a little bit further down. So it's lots of guesswork here. Okay, so I'm going like that. So I'm going to want to go further this way. Or I could put that information on the front. But I'm kind of liking the idea of the cutesy stuff on the front. I don't know. What would you do? Maybe I'll put this information on the front with some stamps, with some cute little stamps. And then I'll put the other information, that's like the germination rate and stuff, on the other side. But I'm making a mess of myself with all the ink. But I think it will work out really nice. This will be a test packet. But let's go ahead and get into the next package. So this stamper should have the information like the germination rate, germination date, and all that kind of information. Let's go ahead and rip it open. Okay, so this one came with ink in little tubes. That makes me a little nervous. Okay, so you can see through the little window here, it says germination test date, years viable, germination rate, perennial, annual, biennial. So that's kind of like redundant, the perennial, annual, biennial information. But I had 3 lines to work with. I guess I could have done germination test date and years viable on separate lines, because I already have perennial, annual, or biennial on the other stamper. But I guess it's fine. Let me go ahead and rip this open, and we'll take a look at what the stamp looks like once we're actually using it. When I first pressed down like this, it looked like it was clear, and now it looks like it's got ink on it. So let's test it out on this white paper just to see if it's pre-inked. Oh, it is. I like it. Okay, this one is smaller, and this one is a bit bigger. So this information will go great on the back, I think. And then the other one maybe on the front. This one doesn't require as much. Like, I don't need to do 2 hands with this because it's so small. Perfect. And I'm going to put these back in the box as well, so I have that reserved off to the side. I don't lose it. But when it runs out of ink, now I will be able to re-ink it, and it has instructions and stuff. I'm not going to get into that now because I don't need to. But I love this. Let me try it on an actual package. Okay, so here's a new seed pack. I'm going to put this stamp on this one here. I'm going to go away from the screen for a second while I do that. And I'm not monetized, obviously. Obviously, no bells and whistles here yet. I've only been on this channel for like two years or whatever. And it's not about monetization for me, but it sure would help. So if you haven't clicked like and subscribe and made a comment, that would really help my channel out. There are days I get discouraged where I feel like maybe no one's watching and I should just stop. But then I hear other YouTubers who have similar content to me say that it took them 4 years or sometimes even 5 years. So I'm going to stick with it as much as I can. I do have a lot of information to share that I think is beneficial even if I'm not monetized. But I do pay for an editing software every month, and it's starting to make me feel a little bit drained. So if I was monetized and if I would at least cover that so I'm not losing money, that would be fabulous. I always think of YouTube as like a club anyway. So I'm going to put this like right here-ish, I think, maybe down a little bit. I'll be right back and show you how it looks. Okay, so I think that looks good. And then I can write here what the seed variety is. I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to do the germination date and rate. This information here is actually legally required if you are selling seeds. So all this information is not required, but this information is. I went ahead and folded down the lip of the envelope just to know how much space I'm working with, because last time I stamped up here, and if you were to close it, you wouldn't be able to see the information. So I think, well, I could do this one sideways. That will fit that way. That's nice. Perfect. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to put it like this. Okay, cool. All right, I think I would put it either a little bit lower and to get all the information in the same area, or maybe a little bit above. And it is pretty small, but I could put right above this, I could write the date, the year is viable. And so that's usually a range. Like, certain kinds of seeds can last, 3 years, 5 years. Some last longer, some don't last as long. And then I could just put a percent next to it, and I could underline whether it's annual, perennial, biennial. But I'm thinking like right above this to write down like the germination test date plus the years that it should be viable based on research. Okay, germination rate could be written here on the side, and it usually depends, but some of the percentages are like 67 or 70% is the legal requirement to sell seeds. I haven't seen. So I like to have seeds that have a germination rate of 80 or better. But legally, certain types are more viable than others, like parsley or parsnips might have a lower germination rate, whereas something else might, have a higher germination rate on average. And so if you compare that, I'll link it for you in the comments, or not in the comments, but in the description, where you can see Washington State, what the legal requirements on germination rates are. But you do have to, if you're going to have a seed company, I'm just practicing, okay? I'm just practicing because right now, my bulk seeds, it's for trading, it's for my seed swaps, it's for giving away to my community, friends, family, for gifts, as prizes for my students. So, but I'm practicing because someday, wouldn't it be cool to have a seed company? And yeah, I kind of like that. So full sun, what kind of sun, hardiness, how long they live, the depth and spacing. I like this one a lot. Like I said, with a smaller stamp, I could have gotten rid of the perennial, annual, biennial because I already have it right there. But I'm happy. I think it works out really well. Let's put it to real use. Now, this is how I have a lot of my seeds. Like this is borage, and I've got some cute little stamps on the sides. And then I wrote down like the date. I just put 85% and that it was checked. I think that's fine too. Honestly, you can get really, like, this is the legal requirement. You have to have the date that the germination test was done, the percent, and then that it was tested. So it says checked, 85%, and then the date that it was. But I think these stamps are pretty neat. So what I think is pretty cool is that you can get a personalized stamp, and you can include whatever information you want to be included on your seed packets. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if it's because I'm in my 40s or what, but I'm getting carpal tunnel really bad, and a little bit of arthritis in my hands. And I even have like this numbness that happens. So like I'll be crocheting for a minute or two, and then my hand goes numb. The same thing happens when I'm writing. So if I'm writing for too long, my hand goes numb. So I figure, you know what? I'm going to stamp them. I'll stamp some pictures. I'll stamp the date. I'll stamp that it's tested. All this information is pretty neat. And also, it's going to make it look way more professional, but also like not so random. I like it. It's a little bit smudgy, so you'd have to like stamp it and then let it dry, because that sure doesn't look nice. But this is like a glossy paper here. So, but on, let's see here, where did it go? Let's try it again. Right here. So, it doesn't do that on the paper. So this paper here, by the way, these little envelopes are technically for coins. And when you look at the seal, the glue does not go edge to edge. It should go all the way to here if you want to keep seeds from falling out. So all I do is, instead of licking that or putting water on it, I just use glue. I just glue the whole thing. But like I showed you here, you don't want to have it covered up. So this information is pretty big. I would just put this down lower. Actually, let me try putting both of them on the same side of the packet, because this side of the packet could have just the name of it, right? And this side could have all of the critical information. Okay, so both stamps do fit on the same side, so I can actually close it and it doesn't cover it up. The only thing I regret is not thinking about that I already had. It says annual, perennial, and down here it says it again. So that is redundant. And now I'm kind of kicking myself because I'm like, oh, why is this? It's okay. It's okay. That's fine. But all that information does fit on one side, and then the other side could be just for being cute and having the name. So anyway, these were kind of more expensive. This one here that just has the date on it was way cheaper. Much cheaper for this one. This one was like $11, but these were like a lot more, like 4 times the price. But I like it. And if I ever get really serious about it, you know, you don't have to have all this information on top. That's not legally required. But the information down the bottom, this little stamp, this one is required if you want to sell seeds. Now, I'll tell you, I buy a lot of seeds, and there are very few companies that actually have all the information that they technically are supposed to have. Maybe their states don't require it. I don't know. I know that if you look at Baker Creek Seeds, they actually have the information on it, as well as Everwild. They have the information on theirs as well. But a lot of seed places, especially things like on Etsy and eBay, they don't. And even some seed companies I've purchased seeds from before have not had all of this information. So I don't know how they're getting away with it, especially the big companies. When somebody like me who's just a novice looks online and I can find it right away that says you're supposed to have the test date and how long or what the rate is. The information that you have to have is the type of the variety, this information here, and this information here. That's actually required. So, if you're selling them. Now, that's not my gig yet, but we'll see. Anyway, I love my stamps. Super excited about these 2 stamps. Woot woot. It's a lot of information to be able to stamp in really fast. Saves my hands, saves my arthritis, my carpal tunnel in my hands. So I'm excited about it. And it's kind of satisfying. You know, it's like ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. I'm kind of liking this one better. I like this information. It's bigger. The bigger letters. I do like that. But I've decided to go with this size seed packet because I can get 1,000 of these packets for $22 on Amazon. 1,000. And I like arts and crafts, but I'm not really great at them. So something as simple as just stamping something, putting the label on it. I feel like I've done something artsy. I think the best way I connect with art is when I grow a garden. Because there's no way I could paint a prettier flower. There's no way I could paint a prettier landscape or sketch a prettier landscape than what grows in my own yard. So I can just grow it. And that's how I enjoy living art. So I just, I have fun. I have a lot of fun. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I rambled a bit, so sorry. Sorry, everybody. I'm kind of trying to avoid some other tasks that need to get done that I don't want to do. Alright, so be good, be sweet, grow a garden if you want to eat, and I'll see you on the next video. See you soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Commenting really helps. Bye.